Let's call meeting to order. Approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve last month's minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mike.
Okay, great, thank you so much. Just start off with a small change to the agenda. If we could move up E8B, the insurance renewal after the end of our finance report today, in the interest of our guests. Time. That's okay with everybody? Yeah,
That's fine.
That's fine.
all right, great, thank you. Just a couple notes to start with. Acknowledgements this month. I'd like to highlight two individuals that have retired or are retiring. We have two fixed route operators who've been with us quite a while and just done an amazing, phenomenal job since they've been with us. Dennis Walston, fixed route operator, retired last week after 31 years. Dennis is been a stalwart and, just a tremendous guy who's given a lot to the district, and we wish him nothing but the best in his retirement. In addition, Walter Washington, fixed route operator, retiring end of this week, correct?
Yes.
Right. And that'll be after 20 years of service to the district, and Walter has been amazing as well, and just can't say enough about them and their time and effort and dedication to the district, so we wish both of them the best.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, great. Couple small updates on the government affairs side, the state side. Obviously, the veto session starts next month. IPTA has met with the State Transit Working Group to again review downstate's position, ensure that's considered as part of the solution. We're hopeful that the bill will be called in veto session in some form or fashion, and how that then impacts the Senate side will be determined. Still hope, keep our fingers crossed that something gets decided in veto session. So keep you updated, and maybe good things will happen by next month's meeting. On the federal side, Congress is still discussing the FY26 appropriation bill. Until the agreement can be reached between the House and Senate, we're likely to see a short-term continuing resolution here by the end of the month, hopefully, or else it's the whole shutdown thing. But as just mentioned to Ricardo, we're not really directly affected by a government shutdown. The appropriations and money that we get reimbursed for on our projects still will flow through, and that won't be interrupted. But obviously, any discretionary grant programs could be temporarily stalled or released for new funding opportunities will be stalled until that appropriations bill gets finalized. So just a side note. Otherwise, nothing else to add. Any questions on those matters? Happy to answer them. Otherwise, we can keep moving along. Let's start out finance. In your packet were the Williams-McCarthy services rendered through August 22nd and the HHL services rendered through August 31st. Any questions on those? If none, then we'll move on to the approval of accounts payable invoices. Also included in your packet with a list of those items on this month's approval list. Total invoices to be approved for September are $2,420,547.13. Any questions on those? Happy to answer them. If none, just need a motion.
I'll move the motion to approve the financial, what was it?
The unaudited financial, the approval of accounts payable invoices.
The approval of accounts payable invoices mentioned by Mike.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great, thank you. Next item we have Schwab Actuarial Services. Approval of payment of invoices dated September 19th in the amount of $15,450 to be paid from the pension account. There's no questions on those, just need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of invoices for Schwab Actuarial Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great, thank you. Next, then we have the approval of the unaudited financial statements for August. Complete list included in your packet, but also a memo from Xavier breaking down the month's analysis. Are any questions on that item?
I do want to point out I just noticed one missing in the first line of there. It should be $111,407 for August operating revenues, so I apologize for that typo.
Okay.
The percentage is still correct?
Yeah, the percentage is correct.
Yes. So we're 7.44 under budget for operating revenues then.
Only question is, it seems like the under budget portion is largely driven by vacant positions, which we've talked about. I think that comes up. I'm just curious on how hiring is going for some of those vacant positions.
We don't really have vacant positions. I think that's
It's
not entirely true.
It's driven by.
We have budgeted positions, but we're not actually lacking people.
Yes.
How's that?
And if you just remind you that as we budget, it's for the entire fiscal year, and so we expect to be operating more service and having more service hours, which is labor hours, which are coming with the service changes that go into October. So as we budget and we project those service hours, that's really where you're seeing the lower number here, is because we're not quite to operate new service yet. So we'll see that pick up as we get into October and the new service and new hours start.
And I can certainly reword that to make it a little more clear.
Just,
If that's helpful.
Since this is probably, since COVID, the first time that we've been anywhere near where we should be the last 12 months or so. But now we're growing, so now we need even more.
Any other questions?
Move the motion to approve the unedited financial statements from August 2025.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Then the last item we have there is the pension portfolio review through September 16th, and the pension investment statement for the month ending August 31st, included in your packet for review. Are there any questions on that? What you would expect? Okay. No other questions, then we will move on, and we'll bring E8, item D, up for consideration from other business. The approval of the insurance renewal for 25-26 presented by Marsh McClellan. We have Miranda here from Marsh McClellan, who will present and go over the review that her and Marsh conducted and provide a recommendation for the staff to follow up. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon, everybody. So the 2025-26 renewal, the overall renewal resulted in an increase of 6.45%, which equals $77,178. So the renewal premium all lines in is $1,273,309. We did initially get a much higher quote from Travelers, but we were able to negotiate a little bit over $54,000 out of that after some conversations with them. And we did go to the marketplace in hopes to find some competitive options on the physical damage coverage, which I'm not sure if any of you remember, but last year we had Travelers cap your physical damage coverage at $20 million. So then we had to buy some additional insurance to make sure that your fleet is fully covered in the event of a catastrophic situation. So that is staying the same this year. You have the $20 million with Travelers, and then we're buying an additional $15 million outside of Travelers on top of that. There was only one change in the terms and conditions this year, which is on the storage tank pollution policy. That deductible is going from $50,000 to $75,000, and that is just due to the age of the tanks. So once those are replaced, we should see a dramatic reduction in the pricing and the deductible as well. Other than that, all of your limits, deductibles, terms and conditions are staying the same. Does anyone have any questions?
Just curious if there was any particular category that there was more of an increase than
There were a couple areas. The cyber insurance was one area that went up quite a bit, and that was due to the recent cyber attack that you had. So they did increase the premiums because of that. The pollution is going up by about 8%. And again, that's just going to the age of the storage tanks. The cyber was probably the biggest one. That went up 42% over last year. The general liability is up about 19% overall. So that's all of your liability insurances, the general, the public officials liability, and the employment practices. So those are your kind of like biggest areas, I would say.
And the cyber, it's 42%, but it's going up to 13,500. So I think it was 10 thousand?
Yes, it went from $9,513 to $13,500. So it seems like a large percentage, but not quite as big of a dollar amount, but
Small amounts.
yeah.
What's the lifespan of the tanks, the storage tanks? Before we see the reduction?
I believe it's once they get to about 20 years old is when you start seeing insurance companies start to limit coverage and start to increase the pricing and the deductibles, and that's just because there's a higher likelihood that there could be a leak, which would cause contamination.
And what age are they currently?
So those tanks were put in the ground originally. We came down here in '88, so they are fairly old. We do, as part of the requirement from our insurance and the state fire marshal, we have a contract that comes in monthly and does some checks, and then there's a pretty in-depth annual inspection as well. So, and we share that information with the brokers, and it gets passed on. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I'd make a motion to approve binding of the recommended coverages here by March in the amount of $1,273,309.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you,
Miranda,
everybody.
thank you, as always, for coming in and presenting
Oh, of
today.
course, thank you.
All right, with that, then we'll keep moving along. Back to E3, Operations, Maintenance, and Facilities Report. So including a packet for review, Dan's summary, and Dan, you want to walk us through that report?
yes. Picture of ridership statistics. We're a little bit lower August of 25 compared to August 24, but there one less weekday, which contributes to that difference there. Paratransit, 1.4 more than we were in August of 24. So you will see as you scroll through your packet, Troy's added some additional information for fiscal year for both RMTD and for SMTD. So we have some historical numbers to go by there. Really breaks it down a lot better than we have in the past. Vehicle maintenance report, you have that in your packet as well. We've tweaked that a little bit. We got one more tweak left we need to do, get a little more information. You may see we did break out the preventive maintenance inspections. Instead of just having a total number, now we have it for the fixed route and one for the paratransit. So overall though, vehicle availability remains good on both sides. Facilities-wise, staff has spent, again, kind of like last month, a lot of bus stop work with the service changes. So those are all completed. The only thing we have left to do is to go out and cover the new signs that we covered up so people weren't confused until the service actually starts. So
Covered them up. Got 'em.
yeah, they're covered, okay. So, project report, you can see it kind of looks the same probably as last time you were here, but there's a lot going on the project. We did include the report from our owner's rep, CCS, so that's in there, so you can kind of get an update and several photos in there. So things are moving along pretty well still with that. So paratransit demand response software, the Medicaid billing, we are good with that. Finally, there were 305 rides booked through the portal. SMTD is Troy, they're still sending their stuff out, right, to get people registered?
Yeah, they'll have the letter here shortly, I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's kind of a one-man show up there, so it takes her a little longer to get some of this stuff out, so. And then Boone County is pretty close as well to completing their training, so. Telephone system replacement, we got all the paperwork shoved together, and actually we got an email this afternoon to get a kickoff meeting scheduled for that, so. So that should be happening by the end of this month, so we're excited to finally get moving forward on that. East Side Transfer Center, the security camera and door access projects moving along. The actually should be done this week or next week.
They anticipate to be done within 2 weeks to have everything operational. They are starting to put cameras in the bays now.
Okay, so that's moving right along. That'll be nice to finally get that done. And the fall service changes, as I mentioned, a lot of signage. Orlando and Lawrence have worked to get stuff up in the bus shelters, letting people know their service changes. There's a web link on our website now. New schedule books are here, ready to be distributed, and we're getting the notices up in the buses as well. So all that starts on October 13th. So I think we're gonna be pretty good as far as the public facing stuff to get that information out there. Any questions?
Just a comment more really on the, once we get going for the service expansion. Just thinking about we have a report here that's the fixed route performance report.
Yes.
And it's comparing the year prior and then year to date. Just thinking as we unroll that it might be helpful just to see month before as well, once we start going through it, to see, how the service expansion is helping ridership numbers there.
Okay, yep, understood.
It'd be kind of cool to see. I think we all hope we know which direction it's gonna go, right? Just be good to see, so.
Yeah.
And then the other was just, in the CCS report, there's the kind of tracking these risks and the issues that have popped up, throughout construction, on the switch gear. Do we know yet when we'll,
So,
what's the lead time on it?
yeah, so
Sounds
it's
like
still, it's supposed to leave Texas in the middle of December. So they haven't given us a hard date yet, nor will they.
Yeah.
But that date hasn't moved. It was much later originally. It got moved to middle of December. It's been middle of December for about 3 months now. So my gut feeling is, everybody's feeling is, it's not going to change. So it's going to take it about a week to get here. So which puts it, late December, and then of course we're going to hit the holidays, and it's going to be hard to, those guys obviously take some time off. So so realistically, it's probably going to be early January before we get all that installed and do the cutover.
Yeah, okay. And then just saw that there might be kind of the risk of the ComEd rebate for 2025. I was just curious, does that mean that would just be pushed to 2026?
Yes, yeah, if we do pursue it, it would have to be for 2026.
Okay.
And that's more of an opportunity benefit, whereas we still have to work through FTA with that and have approval. And so that's one of those ones where we haven't gotten a firm answer on whether or not, even if we went through the process, whether we would be able to do anything with those, because technically those would have to go back in to a grant, and we're still working through this, if that's a possibility yet. So we'll be meeting with FTA next week to review some of that as well. So,
Thank you.
okay, any other questions then on the report? None, then we'll keep moving along then. On to the HR claims history report for July and August. We have a revised total from July and then the update for August, both included in your packet for review. Any questions on those? Up 1 month, down next. Yeah, which is typical. All right, if nothing there, then we'll keep moving along into E5 marketing, the market update included in your packet. Orlando, do you want to touch upon highlights there?
Yeah, just keeping things moving along. Been really focused on the fall service changes, so really getting all the details and getting the materials ready for that. It's a lot that you have to do when you're trying to make sure that the public is informed. So we're getting on the buses, getting on the shelters and things of that nature, and we've been working together hard to get that in place before the date. We're also surveying, me and Brandon, R1PC, we've extended a week of surveying. It's supposed to be done this week, but we've extended a week to get that goal of numbers of surveys we want to see, so that's 250. We're at about 150, 160 roughly, so it's just us, so we are pushing, trying to get as many as we can, but we've seen some good feedback, as I've noted in the memo, some good feedback of how customers kind of want to see changes come about and things of that nature. So it's been a good experience, not just, riding, but also hearing from the customers. It's been a great experience. So that's kind of the big thing with that. Like community events that I highlighted last month, more community events that we've done this month. Got some more coming up. The biggest one that we did this month was the 12th Ward Alderman Community Meeting with Gina Meeks, and letting her kind of area know about the changes and what they want to see and positive feedback. We were really wanting to start the show when it came to that meeting, but we just, gave some good positive information that garnered some good feedback. So yeah, so we're just moving and grooving as a marketing department, working hard. I also noted that I'm also starting the campaign for what we're gonna call the Edu Ride campaign, which is what we started January, I wanna say last January, but it's this January, where we're giving out the free rides to post-secondary education with, coming with the city on that. So we've got some images for that, that's gonna be on the bus side, on the buses, on the back and on the side of the signs, along with some handouts and some digital campaigns with that. Like I said, once I get those examples, I'll include them into the October memo as well. So you kind of see what other people are seeing, kind of how we're going to reach out to those individuals that we're trying to, push and let them know we got this great resource for them to ride free. So that's the memo in itself.
Any questions there?
Sounds good.
I was just wondering on the survey that you and Brandon are doing,
Yeah.
the results of that, is that something we'll be able to share?
Oh yeah,
in the
for
next-
sure.
Or whenever it's ready?
Yeah, we'll be done in a week, and then we'll have a summary hopefully next month. Once
Yeah, great. Then we can compare that against the survey that we previously done a couple of years ago. We used that as kind of baseline, going back to the mobility analysis, using some specific questions in there over and over so we can compare against the prior years to see how we can.
Just additional question on the survey. Was that done to common riders, or is that like anybody that was just their first time that they just ride, like got on the bus, you gave them the survey, or is that?
Yeah, it was pretty much anybody who rode. I did see that I guess more common riders were more willing to do it because they use the service more, so they were really more willing to give feedback.
Anything else? Then we got an item for approval.
Yeah, so Rockford Area Arts Council, they asked us to help them out with some transportation for their art scene that they do every year. What we're proposing is to just run our trolley service that we run for the city market, just running it for that event, for that 2-day event, and they said they're good with that because most of their art scene locations is downtown. So I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with art scene and kind of how it goes and all that good stuff. So yeah, actions for that. So we need approval from the board on that item. And staff believe that we can be able to fulfill it and do it in a good manner.
A motion, the request from Rockford Art Council for the transportation for the art scene.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Okay, great. Thank you, Orlando. Moving on, E6, no report for grants unless something else has come up that we just want to touch upon.
No, just waiting for people to say we kind of get money, so that'd be great.
I will note real quickly, we did hear a bit of good news from DCO. They have finally awarded the grant that we put in for a couple of years ago for the shelters. So that's a $165,000 grant for, we originally scoped out 11 shelters at various locations throughout the community. And we've been working with the city of Rockford on starting the process of pouring some pads in some of those locations in anticipation of those. And it's still going to be even once we actually get money in hand, it'll still be a multi-year project because of the timing of some of these projects now marry up with like the Auburn Street projects. So there's a few locations along there that we identified that are part of this. And what was the other location, top of mind, I can't recall. But that's an example. There's a couple locations that have construction projects that they have partnered. So we'll keep you up to date as we get those out, and certainly be an opportunity to talk about that in the community and have a positive event around those. So that's a good bit of good news. Moving on then, E7 Safety and Training Report for August. I include your packet for review. We have good news there in terms of our exposures on the risk side. Aside from that, nothing too much more to report on. Any questions? If none there, then we'll keep moving along to E8, other business. One item left there for your attention, approval of the memorandum of understanding between ComEd and RMTD. So we had previously talked about this project where ComEd, as part of their Communities of the Future initiative, reached out to us as they were working on a art project in the park in Brown Park, and wanted to know if we wanted to partner on a shelter and that they'd be interested in doing something with us, and that expanded into a couple more locations. They have a budget set aside for 1 year that would cover the cost of 3 shelters. solar power shelters, which are our standard that we put in place, and all of our standard kind of amenities with advertising board and trash can. And working with the city of Rockford and reviewing ridership, we identified 2 other locations besides the Brown Park area, one being the Mercy Way in front of Javon Bay, just south of Riverside, obviously being a medical clinic, and that's a high priority location for riders. And having one there obviously was one that we selected, so we'll have one going along there at the front of the hospital connecting the walkway. And then the other location we identified was the UPS facility on the south curve. We had previously put one at the north curve upon request, but as we looked at the data showed us that the south location was actually the highest ridership location. It's one of the top 30 locations in our system, which 20 others have shelters currently that are in the top 30. So that was a pretty straightforward one that we wanted to get one in there. And these were easy ones to do. We have to get easements necessarily, and they're in the city's right of way, so they're able to easily do them. We do have an easement that we will have working with the Park District on for Brown Park, and get approval on those to move forward from the Park District. But aside from that, the city will pour the pad, and then ComEd will order the shelters, deliver them to us, we'll install them. Once they're fully erect and installed in place, then they will sign them over to us. And so, as I said, that's a one-time, one-year agreement. We're hoping that if we successfully complete that they'll be interested in continuing that on a yearly basis. So this first effort is to get this approved and forward. And so if I can get a motion to, unless there's questions, a motion to approve the MOU, authorizing me to sign this and execute the.
Quick question. After the ownership is transferred to RMTD, then RMTD is liable for the maintenance
Yes.
of the continuing forward
Yep.
after that?
Just like any of our
Yeah.
current locations.
Okay.
And so it's an easy one to fit into our regular program and include. Yep. Any other questions?
I would make a motion to approve the MOU between ComEd and RMTD.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. With that then, we are at the end of the agenda. We do have executive session. Before we jump into that, next meeting scheduled for Monday, October 27th. Does that work for everybody? October 27th, same time.
Should be a spooky one.
Yeah, that's right. Halloween costume.
Motion to come out of the executive session.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay.
Motion to adjourn? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.